Excited to be here. I like how you've distributed yourselves amongst the room. That was a blockchain joke. Come on. If you don't get it, you'll get it by the end. So I'm happy to be here. I think it is an important topic to discuss. I feel like I'm going to be compressed for time, so I'm going to dive right in. And so I'm going to move fairly quickly, but the idea is that I'm going to try to put this into layman's terms, so don't get too bogged down in the technical specifics. So I have the enviable task of trying to explain exactly what blockchain is, and you can do that to some degree with these types of definitions that are out there. But I think the problem with these definitions when you look them up is that nobody really understands them. And so what I want you to take away from this first slide is really just the distributed public ledger. So most people have a sense of what a ledger is. Most people do not have a sense of what a distributed public ledger is. And so I'm going to talk about some of the other highlighted words on the page throughout the presentation: cryptography, transparency, the incorruptibility of this system, and try to give you a sense that it actually is what it says it is. Okay? And this slide, distributed public ledger. We're going to talk about that. So the strengths of the system get talked about frequently. So we hear that it's transparent, and I think some people question whether that's actually a strength or maybe it's a weakness. It's immutable and trusted, it's distributed, it's fast. I'm going to try to prove to you that these things actually are true and try to explain to you how they can be true. And then some of the weaknesses. And I'm going to use Bitcoin today as a use case, and I use Bitcoin because I think it's an example, one, that everybody knows about. So you've heard about it, you maybe are invested in it, you've heard about the bubbles, and it's on the news. But it's also a great use case because it was sort of the birthplace of blockchain. But it also has everything that's good about blockchain, and it's got everything that's kind of bad about blockchain, and that's where we get into the weaknesses of the system. Energy cost, data storage, scalability, and I'm going to talk about those things a little bit, but then sort of transition into how we might change the system from what has been created with blockchain, or with Bitcoin, I should say, and how we might change it so that some of these weaknesses aren't there. So looking at Bitcoin as a use case, as I said, I think it's a great example because it is the birthplace of blockchain. And if you sort of have some understanding of cryptocurrencies, you know that blockchain or Bitcoin was created as an effort really to disintermediate banking, right? So we said we need banking, we need to be able to send money to the other side of the world. If I want to send money to the other side of the world, I need some kind of trusted center to validate that the other person exists, to actually move the funds. And they need to validate that I exist and that I actually have the money that I'm trying to spend and that I'm not spending it in multiple places.